Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Elevate Your Soul podcast. Today, I want to talk about the internet, your phone, time you're spending on the internet and social media, perhaps. So, I'll tell you a little experience that I had myself this summer while traveling. I was realizing that I was getting bored and I was outside of the town I lived in. I wasn't going to the gym. I didn't have my dog. I wasn't around my friends, which took up a lot of my time. So I had a lot of extra time. Oh, and I was away from my boyfriends. So I had a lot of extra time to live life, and I really enjoyed it at first. I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much more time in my days to fill in with I guess. I was adventuring, exploring, traveling, meeting new people, seeing new things, but eventually I explored all there was to see in the area I was staying in, and I, tried making new friends, and I made a couple new friends, but those kind of things take time. So anyway, I found myself having a lot of more extra time and then getting to a point where I wasn't so excited about that anymore, and I was kind of missing my friends and my routine and the gym and my dog and blah, blah, blah. So I found myself spending a lot more time on the internet, on social media, on my phone and my laptop, which initially were pretty good because, I really enjoyed it. I don't spend too much time on those gadgets anyway, day to day. So in the beginning, I was a bit more positive about it, and I was like, yeah, this is fun. Like, I can relax, I can do whatever. And then eventually I found myself getting bored of that, but then rather than stopping, it's so easy to get distracted by social media and your phone and playing on your phone and so on and so forth. And then I realized, this is not really fun anymore. I feel like I really need to stop looking at a screen. This is no longer enjoyable. This is not who I am. I need to get off. And it was a slow realization till I got to this point. But when I did, I just said, fuck it. I'm not going to go on my phone for an entire day, which for a lot of people, and for me, that was kind of hard. Not going on my phone, not looking at it all day, not waking up and looking at it, not going to bed before, I was going to say go to bed before sleep, but go to sleep before bed and not looking at my phone. It was a big deal, but I thought, fuck it, I spent way too much time on my phone. I just felt icky and gross, and I was just like, yeah, I need the cleanse, I need the detox. And I went off my phone less and less and less. And then there was just a day I went off of it, but it wasn't forced. It wasn't okay, this is a goal. I need to get off my phone. And then when I do, I get a golden star the next day, and my worth is complete and I'm worthy of love and life. It wasn't anything like this. It just it was in my mind, and I knew I needed to spend less time on it. And I thought, why not try it for a whole day? And just naturally, I was traveling, and I thought, you know what, today's the day. I'm just not even going to bother looking at my phone. I did it with ease, though. It wasn't like a temptation throughout the day. Honestly, the entire day, I didn't even want to look at my phone. I knew I'd have people messaging. I just need one day to just fully not look at my phone, not reply to anyone, just be there for me and be 100% in the present moment for that entire day. And I did that on this one day, and I kid you not, it reset my whole mind. It shifted my whole perception. It just I feel like I just hit a reset button. And since that day, or at least for the weeks following just that one day, I had so much less of a desire or a need or a habit to look at my lock screen or my phone. I put it on silent. I do most of the time anyway, but I just kept it on silent for weeks and weeks so I wasn't distracted by it. I thought of it less. I didn't think about checking or looking at my lock screen, although I hadn't looked at it in hours and it was on silent. So that kind of just rebooted me and helped me really realize and find what actually matters in life. And our phones don't fucking matter in life. Social media doesn't matter in life. These things are just a tool, and you can use them for whatever you like in life, but they're not a necessity and they're not something you need. And just having a little bit of time apart from those can shift your whole perspective on everything. Like I wrote a poem on that day. I got inspired to make like 5 new podcast episode topics that day. I got inspired I wrote so much. I channeled, I did intentional dreaming, I was working on manifestation, meditation, spending time in nature, I was grounding myself. It was so powerful and so beautiful. And I encourage you guys, from my own experience, this is something I want to incorporate more in my life. And because it was so powerful, I want to encourage you guys to do the same and inspire you guys to maybe try the same for yourself as well. You know, and a lot of these times when we're looking at our phones, it's because we're looking for a distraction. And it's times when we're slightly bored or less distracted by life and the urgencies of life. So when we're, idling at a red light, at a traffic light, or we're waiting in lineup at the grocery store or wherever. These are the times where we're looking at our phones for distraction. And a lot of these times when you download information from source, or when you're channeling your own inner creativity, you know how sometimes you're in the shower and that's like where you get all your ideas? It's because you're not on your phone when you're in the shower, like going in the shower or taking a bath. Oh, okay, maybe not the bath because people are taking their phones in the bath these days. But those are like times where you're kind of forced to not be distracted. You're not being distracted by the urgencies of anyone else, and your mind is allowed to wander. And airplane rides are the best for this as well. Like you're up in the sky, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have data, you can't text anyone. And those are a lot of the times where, you can download information or channel your own creativity. And by that, I just mean like come up with ideas. It's for me personally, it's really easy when I'm on flights to write poetry or do some creative writing, or just think of ideas that normally you wouldn't think of, because you're forced to be, sitting still with yourself without this distraction of social media or technology. So it is also so important that we take the time off social media and off technology so that we can get creative, so that our creative juices can get flowing, right? You're not going to have any time, you're not going to have any like aha moments if you're constantly feeding your brain with distraction when you're talking to someone and then you're going on the bus to your next place, or going in the car to your next meeting, or walking to your next whatever urgency that you need in life. If you take some of those times to not look at your phone, I shit you not, you're gonna allow yourself to think outside the box and come up with new ideas or new strategies or new perspectives that you may not have even allowed your brain to wander off towards if you wouldn't have been distracted, if you wouldn't have turned on the TV in front of you or looked at your lock screen or responded to all those messages. So it's important not only to take that break from social media, to not ramp up and drive up your anxiety. It's good to create that inner peace. And with that inner peace, then comes that creativity. It is so important. It is like the kapha is that inner peace, that silence. And then from the kapha, the vata can arise, and that is the creativity. And then from there, we go into the pitta, which is, the taking action and what our behavior is actually like. No longer just thoughts and ideas, we're actually putting things into action. And then from after action comes, once again, the resting and the inner peace, which is the kapha energy. So it's like flowing with these energies from the doshas as well in Ayurveda. So it's so important that we have these times of inner peace and relaxation and rest without continuously getting distracted by our phones or by technology. I have realized over the years, like, I do want to cut back looking at my phone. I have realized it becomes a little bit of a habit, and then my phone's went, like, it never used to be on silent, and the minute a text would come through and I'd hear that ding or the bing, I would look at my phone and be like, okay, I'm going to reply to this person. Okay, I'm going to reply to this. I'm going to reply to that. I'm going to reply to that. And then by the end of the day, it's like, you were working for your phone's notifications. You were working for everybody who sent a fucking message or a notification or put a comment on your photo the entire day. Were you really living for yourself? Were you really achieving what you wanted to achieve? No, you were completely taken out of the present moment the entire day. It's like I was working for my phone, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to work in alignment with my dharma and with myself and with my life purpose and do everything that makes me feel happy. And anyone and everyone is the most happy when they're in the present moment. So for the last few years, I have been trying to want to cut back on my phone. And what I have found, what was really, really powerful and helpful to set you up and put you on the right vibration and frequency for the entire day, is to not look at your phone first thing in the morning. And yes, most mornings I use my phone as an alarm clock. So you can use that as an excuse. Like, it's so easy to wake up and hear your alarm go off, and it's your phone, and then you click snooze or stop, and then you look at your notifications on your lock screen. It is so easy and so tempting because you're like, maybe I missed something during the night. And me having friends all over the world, it's not like, whoa, everyone was just asleep at night in New Zealand. It's like, whoa, everyone was awake in the United States and Canada and Europe, and I have so many friends there and family there. Let me look at my lock screen, because those are the times they'll usually reply to me, is when I'm asleep. But it's like, no, having that boundary with yourself and saying, no, I'm not going to look at my phone first thing in the morning. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be present. I'm going to allow myself to be fully present and fully in touch with my body and myself the moment I wake up. And that is the best and most precious time of the day that you should be doing that. So that is something that I've incorporated, and I'm not perfect. I don't do it every single morning. There are some mornings where I'm just like, I'm going to sleep in, I'm going to have an hour in bed before I even get out of bed, and I'm just going to lay here and check my phone and fucking enjoy it. And cheers to you if you want to do that every now and then. But what I'm talking about is, if you're realizing you're getting in the habit of checking your phone every morning, it is so good and cleansing to try not to do that first thing in the morning. And then what I started doing is I started increasing that time that I didn't look at my phone. So I'd not look at my phone first thing in the morning. I'd get up, I'd use the washroom, wash my face, make a cup of tea, then look at my phone, which took about 20 minutes to half an hour. And then I thought, why not increase that to an hour? I have enough things to get done in the morning before I do anything for anyone else or reply to any message or respond to anyone, right? So extending that to an hour. And I'm not like telling you guys don't look at your phone. I know some people need to do this. I know you need to do this for work, or you might have kids or someone who relies on you to respond to them, but it's also being smart about it. So what you can do, for example, is go onto your notification settings and turn off all the notifications that aren't really relevant and that aren't really important and that you don't need to respond to straight away. So turning off the notifications for Instagram, turning off the notifications for Facebook, turning off the notifications for email, and only leaving, and I think there's even a way to make it so that you don't even get texts from anyone unless like certain contacts that are in your favorites list or something. Pretty sure you can do that on an iPhone. I don't know about any other phone, but I encourage you to look into it and not use that as an excuse. I'm sure there are ways to do it. The phones now are very smart. That's why they call them smartphones, and they can do many, many things that people aren't even aware of that your phones can do. So I encourage you to try doing that. Try starting your day without looking at your phone. And then turning off the notifications for anything that isn't serving you anymore, or for anything that's just, that you just realize there's a complete distraction during your day and something that you don't need to be constantly distracted by. And then you can always go back to your notification settings and turn them back on. It's not the end of the world. You can reverse anything you do. Even if you're deleting an app and you're like, fuck it, Tinder is just like fucking waste my fucking time. Like, you can delete that shit, and if you want, then you can just download the app and log back in. It takes like 15 seconds. You don't need to stress about it. So delete any apps that you feel are also taking up room and storage and like just taking up your energy, where you'd rather be using your energy and that energy towards something else. And I also encourage you to deactivate any accounts that you may not need anymore. If you're on like Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook, deactivate or delete anything that is no longer, bringing you happiness and joy and that you feel is just purely taking up your time, that you may not know what you'd be wanting to do with that time right now, but I encourage you to find out and realize how much time are you spending on your phone and on these apps, and what could you be doing with that time, and what would you ideally want to be doing with that time. And once you find out there are other amazing things that you can be doing with your life instead of sitting on Snapchat, then you will be able and you will have the determination to get off Snapchat, this is just for an example, and find other things to do with your life. And it is a lot harder when you're like, fuck, I don't know what I do with that time, like sit and watch TV. No, that's not really any better, right? Because at least social media gives us this false or not, this sense of connection with other people, right? And TV doesn't. But I'm saying, would you rather spend those 20 minutes trying to meditate and trying to be present? Would you rather spend that hour and a half, which a lot of us are spending on social media, catching up with a best friend who you haven't seen in a while and being present in someone's company and not just texting them or calling them, like be in the present with them, whether it's at your house or their house, or going out to eat or going for a walk together, walking your dogs together, admiring other people's dogs while you're walking together, hashtag dogs are amazing. It's finding these other things that you can do with your time. And something I realized as well with myself is when I was getting really bored and I'd spend more time on my phone, I was getting bored and I was feeling sad. And when I was feeling sad, I'd get a little bit anxious because I'd be sitting on my phone so much. So I get like a little bit anxious and I'd be like, oh my God, I need to move my body. I need to do something else. And I'd also be stressed because I'd be like there's nothing else to do. I can't think of anything else to do right now. So I'm on my phone more. And when you're on your phone and you're already in a negative space, it makes you feel even worse. Coming from a place when you're just like really happy and then you jump on your phone, you're usually in a much better mood. You interact with people better. The notifications seem to not rub you up the wrong way. Like it's just so much better of a mind space, and vibrationally you're at a much better frequency and a higher frequency. So that's something to be mindful as well. So I really encourage you guys to take a break off social media. Start the day without it if you can, without seeing all these notifications on your phone. And having a whole day off social media, or even if you make it half a day, is so powerful. And it is something that you can do in baby steps. You can try doing, say, 1 day a month. So the first of every month, make it a priority, make it a thing. The first of every month, I'm not going to be on my phone. You can let your friends and your family know, or whoever needs to know, and say, the first of every month, I'm just not going to be on my phone. I'm going to dedicate the first of every month fully to me, fully to practice being present in every single moment and not getting distracted by my phone and by anyone else and anything else that has to do with the internet and fucking social media. Do the honor and do that to yourself. And then from there, if you really enjoy it, you can make that 1 day a week. Say every Saturday or every Sunday is going to be phone-free day, or even social media-free day. Make it something that works for you. And one thing that works for someone isn't going to work for everyone or anyone else. So it's finding about what is going to serve you in your alignment to elevate your soul, to become your higher self. What is in alignment for you, and what do you think is going to work best for you? And take baby steps on how to get there, and then stay committed and be determined enough to honor yourself and love yourself enough to honor yourself in order to do that, and increase your vibration and increase the happiness of your life and decrease the stress in your life. My, oh my, can I tell you that if you want more inner peace and inner happiness, get off your phone. That shit creates anxiety. That shit creates depression. If you're not in a good space already, it can trigger that and perpetuate that to get even worse. So detox, take some time off, get yourself in the right mindset, get yourself in the right space vibrationally, and then get back on social media, and then get back on whatever else you're doing that you're spending your time on your phone and your laptop, and make sure there are things that are serving you. And also, some things might only serve you if you're on them for a little bit. So say social media, you might say, I gain a lot of insight and inspiration off social media, off my Instagram or whatever. Then say, okay, and how much time on your Instagram do you actually need to get that feeling of inspiration and happiness? Is it only half an hour a day? And if you're spending 2 hours on Instagram or 3 hours on Instagram a day, is that still serving you? Is that still making you feel really inspired and energetic to do your own thing? Or is it too much? It's finding what works for you, finding the limits, the times of what puts you in your highest element and elevates the fuck out of your soul. And then have the honor to yourself to do that. I would also strongly recommend looking at who you're following or whose newsfeed, whose posts you're absorbing on social media, and do they make you feel good? Are they serving you to become your higher self, or are they posts and are you following people that actually make you feel like shit or make you feel ugly or make you feel unsuccessful? It's about following or tuning in to the information on social media that is actually helping you become the best version you can. And that also might mean that for just a little while you avoid someone's posts, and then after a while when you're in a better space, you can start following someone's posts again. Be very mindful about also who you're following, on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or however all those apps work. Be mindful about whose information you're downloading and if that's really serving you in the long run or not. I encourage you guys to give this a go. Try not looking at your phone first thing in the morning. Try having a day a month or a day a week off your phone and off social media or off all electronics if you can. Fucking that would be awesome. Go for it. And let me know how it goes. Please, I would love to hear from you if you're giving this a go. You can contact me on Instagram at arel.hug.love or Facebook at arelhug. I would love to hear from you guys, and I wish you the best. I hope you do something with this knowledge, and I hope I inspired you to take some form of action in your life to elevate your soul. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.